Greetings Indie Warriors and welcome to I Dream of Indie Games. My name is Old Gamer Joe, here to bring you a whopping 25 new indie game releases for the week of October 21st through the 25th of 2024. It's a big week of releases with a little bit of something for everyone, so grab a seat, get cozy, and get ready to add the next indie of your dreams to that ever-growing wish list of yours. A quick thank you for supporting independent content, and a reminder to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do so, and head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames to gain Discord access, this show early, ad-free, sponsor-free, and your name featured at the end of every video we produce. Your new indie gaming community is waiting for you. Well, I guess we technically have 26 releases to showcase this week, as before we get into our main list, we'd like to take a moment to thank this week's indie sponsor, OA Interactive, who just recently released Ahro for both the Steam PC platform and the Nintendo Switch. Ahro is an emotional side-scrolling adventure title with a whole lot of heart. Based off of the developer's real-life struggles with anxiety, the game takes place in a mystical world. It is a spiritual journey full of emotional highs and lows. Your goal is to travel across the lands on a quest for self-discovery. You'll battle your feelings in search of a cure for your ailments, but what you'll actually discover is something much greater that lives deep inside of you. So fly through the world of Ahro today. Use our links below to wishlist or purchase the game for yourself. And once again, a very special thank you to OA Interactive for sponsoring this week's episode. Alright then, it's on to the indies. All aboard for our first release of the week, which is coming to us from Corby Games and Iceberg Interactive. This is Railroad Corporation 2, a follow-up to the 2019 original that received a positive reception overall from both fans and critics alike. This sequel looks to expand upon the first game dramatically, making nice refinements and adding additional modes of play. Railroad Corporation 2 will begin as an early access release, with plans for the full game to hopefully be completed in 2025. You'll need to link together rails, create modern and efficient tracks, and build top-of-the-line locomotives. Construct new tunnels, pathways, and create an efficient system. Take on political adversaries and create the ultimate train network when Railroad Corporation 2 boards on the 21st. While this isn't my usual genre of choice, I do love a peaceful train ride, so maybe I can at least unwind by watching a stream of some gameplay. If trains aren't your thing and you're looking for a rootin' tootin' shootin' good time, saddle up for Altarium. Grab yourself 4 partners and choose whether you want to be one of the good guys or the bad guys in this asymmetrical shooter that features horror elements. Taking place in the fictional town of Golden Horn, you and your team are tasked with locating a magical gem said to hold epic powers. Players may enjoy PvP modes or play together in co-op. Regardless of which side you're on, communication will be paramount to your success. Characters will be unique from one another too, with different abilities. You'll also have a variety of tools to assist you that will allow you to think a little bit outside of the box. The mix of horror and strategy with 2 different team types makes Altarium a different kind of co-op experience that, at the least, looks worth a look. All pixels are beautiful, even in a dark setting such as Tormenture's, a horrifically fun-looking indie that arrives just in time for Halloween. Tormenture's wonderful retro aesthetic doesn't look like the only thing it has going for it either, as Croxel Studios are also including fiendishly challenging smart puzzles for players to solve and deadly traps designed to send them plummeting towards the game over screen. The story itself is quite fascinating, involving a child who has heard about a video game said to be cursed. Naturally, he plays the game to find out for himself. Players are tasked with finding relics in order to try and escape the nightmarish video game world before time runs out. If you are someone who loves classic 8-bit releases with a modern twist, Tormenture may be just what the doctor ordered. It's full of callbacks to the late 80s and early 90s that should delight classic gamers and hit them directly in the feels. Unique indie experiences such as these are one of many reasons we're proud to be a part of the indie gaming scene. On the fence? Check out the demo for Tormenture to get a feel for it yourself. Sticking with pixels for our next release, we have Speedollama, a high-octane platformer that also has shooting mechanics. It might look adorable on the outside, but inside lurks a very steep challenge. Take control of llama mercenaries in a battle against the alpaca army. There are 6 different soldier types in the game that can be used across 9 different areas. The game will use procedural generation to keep things feeling fresh. Speedollama's zany, colorful visuals, fast, frantic gameplay, and fun sense of humor make it a wonderful addition to any indie gaming fan's wishlist. A demo is also available of this one as part of Next Fest, so hurry on over just in case it disappears. For you Lovecraft fans out there, you'll want to pay attention to this next release, Worshippers of Cthulhu. This isn't your typical city builder, if that wasn't obvious. Lead your cult through dark rituals and evil affairs in this sinister release coming to us from Crazy Goat Games. Your goal in this title, while not easily obtainable, is simple conceptually. You are to wake up the Old One. Grow your city and spread your bile. Connect with followers through your ghoulish means. If you seek a different kind of game within the city building genre, Worshippers of Cthulhu should definitely fit the bill. Join the cult on the 21st. Alright, no more monkeying around. This is Dunjungle, the latest 2D roguelite to hit the indie gaming scene. Swing your way through deceptively dangerous dungeons as you battle foes using a variety of different weapons. Dungeons will be altered constantly, so if you think you've mastered them, think again. You'll also have a good variety of different spells and unique relics to defeat enemies with. I'm loving the pixel art that Dunjungle is offering, and the gameplay looks fun too, even awarding players with kill streaks. Combat in general looks pretty good with smooth dodging mechanics and quick attacks. Exploration is perhaps the biggest aspect of the gameplay, however, so don't choose the wrong room, or you might end up in a deadly trap. Dunjungle will be swinging into early access on the 22nd. Now I thank you for your patience, Metroidvania fans, as we turn our attention to AWAKEN Astral Blade. AWAKEN will be available on both PC and PlayStation consoles, and is marketed as a dark fairy Metroidvania. It may be dark thematically, but just take a look at these bright and colorful visuals that breathe a whole lot of life into this ravaged world. You'll travel between the past, present, and future, battling nasty foes with an assortment of attacks and different abilities. Platforming looks fast and responsive, and players can look forward to a skill tree that will help make their lead character stronger. With its wonderful looking visuals, variety of weapons, leveling systems, and intense looking boss encounters, AWAKEN Astral Blade is looking like a fantastic indie release this week. Our next indie release has quite the pedigree behind it. It's from a developer that worked on some little-known games you might have heard of called Skyrim and the Fallout series. The Axis Unseen will be an indie effort, but it still looks very ambitious with a heavy metal theme and horror elements. Featuring a massive, sprawling world, the visuals look excellent coming from a smaller team, with the game hosting tons of monsters for players to hunt down that are derived from folklore. In fact, it looks like hunting is the focus here, as much of the gameplay shown so far involves using a bow. The environments are impressive so far, but my fear with this release is that it tries to do more than it should with a smaller budget. But let's hope that isn't the case, as it looks like the Axis Unseen will be skipping early access and heading right into a full release. Speaking of bright, colorful visuals, this reminds me a bit of the Skylanders games, Lynked, Banner of the Spark. It's shaping up to be a fun indie release to play with friends. Robots seem to be the theme here, whether you're battling them or equipping them for massive upgrades. Combat is very quick and seems to have a grappling mechanic that can be used to toss enemies into nearby environmental hazards. Nice. Outside of the roguelite action, there is a building element here as well, which almost looks like it could be a game all in itself. Team up with your friends in co-op action, and maybe even do a little bit of fishing when Lynked Banner of the Spark launches into early access this week. Open world, survival, crafting, it's all here in Wild Planet, also releasing into early access on the 23rd. This ambitious indie will feature both single and multiplayer modes and place you into a spaceship where you'll be in complete control. Decide everything from the type of spacesuit that you wear to which weapons you create. The vibe of the game reminds me a bit of No Man's Sky as you explore planets and mine for resources. There are some RPG elements in Wild Planet as well, so if you're into grinding, this will probably be a good choice for you. Discover wild creatures and control your destiny across a massive map. Exploring will be the name of the game, helped by vehicles, when Wild Planet begins its journey into early access. If exploring outer space isn't your thing and you would rather travel back in time, check out Feudal Baron, Kingsland, also launching on the 23rd from Simfarm SA. Much like the previous game, you're in charge of creating a peaceful village while managing resources and taking care of your people. Destroy trees and create pathways, construct towers, make trades, and even create your own chambers to rest in. You'll have quite the variety of men to fight for you and have to pay your taxes just like the rest of us. Nobody said it would be easy, but I trust you are the right person for the job. Okay, so the bad news is that the world is coming to an end, but the good news? You get to make the most of it in While We Wait Here. As you look outside, you see chaos and destruction. A massive storm is destroying the world. Realizing that your life will soon be ending, it's time to hunker down and make the best of things. I really like the concept of this game, a mix of horror and running your very own kitchen. You'll recall old memories as you prepare meals during the apocalypse, which is something I can honestly say I haven't experienced in many games before, if any. I'll be honest, I don't love the visuals from what I've seen, but I want to give it a go for myself, just for the unique premise alone. Hopefully the gameplay cooks up plenty of fun when While We Wait Here launches this week on PC and all major consoles. Indie fighting game fans, it's time for a sequel! Rivals of Aether II looks to up the ante with a new improved visual style, tweaked mechanics, and awesome new sound design. The animations in this sequel are looking outstanding so far, and the diverse cast of characters will all have unique movesets for players to master. If you haven't played the original game, think kinda like Smash Bros. To a degree. Good news too, as the developer is promising players will never have to pay for any characters that are released in the future. There are plenty of ways to play, whether it be online or multiplayer, special events, and additional modes promised in the future. So fight on, indie warriors! Now, I know what you might be thinking, another city builder, Joe, but hear me out, as Technotopia is also a card game. You'll play as an AI and build the city of your dreams through a deck of cards. That's right, this isn't your usual city builder, that's for sure. Outside of the card-based gameplay, you'll encounter various types of people that can potentially live in and contribute to your city. Not everyone will be friendly though, so be on the lookout for trouble. The visuals are simplistic but strangely alluring, and city builder fans looking to spice things up a bit should check the game out on the 23rd. Get out your bug nets and prepare your cheeks for twerking. It's another Shin-chan game, and this time the little bugger is going to Coal Town. This is Shin-chan, Shiro, and the Coal Town. Players can expect more of the same Shin-chan action they've come to know and love, including insect catching, fishing, exploration, talking to grandpa, and petting the dog. There is a much wider world to explore this time around, with tons of new faces and some familiar ones as well. If you've ever played any of the Shin-chan games before, or if you're just looking for a cozy title that has a whole lot of charm, look no further than Shin-chan, Shiro, and the Coal Town when it pulls into the station on October 23rd. Do you love driving and fixing up vehicles? If so, maybe consider checking out Underground Garage, which kinda looks like an episode of Pimp My Ride. You'll tune up everything on your vehicle, customize it, and then take to the streets in epic races. The game even has a bit of a storyline to it too. Underground Garage is going for realism, but also features procedurally generated quests, and a community section too. Basically, there's a heavy emphasis on making the perfect build. Sound appealing to you? Give the game a test drive in early access on the 24th. Finally, a point-and-click adventure on this list. It's not a sim game, I promise. PRIM is coming to us from Common Colors, which is ironic because the game is in black and white from what I can see. There is an Addams Family vibe to this release, and it seems to feature your usual point-and-click mechanics as you control the Daughter of Death. I love the art style utilized here, and as a fan of point-and-click adventures, this one shot to the top of my wishlist immediately. Hopefully the narrative delivers, it certainly looks like it will. The developer is promising a good amount of humor to break up all of the puzzle solving and mini-games. You'll control multiple characters too, and enjoy a fully orchestrated soundtrack, perfect for the season. From the creators of Dead Cells comes their latest project, Windblown. The single-player demo really swept me away, and the final game is going to feature 1 to 3 player action. If you haven't checked out the Next Fest demo yet, it's highly advised as your progress will carry over into the full release. The action is fast across various islands, with the combat having a lovely, satisfying rhythm to it. Take on the powers of fallen warriors and grow stronger while you equip up to 2 different weapons at any time you wish. Yeah, it's not Dead Cells, but I for one am excited for Motion Twin to try something new, and thankfully Windblown is on the right track so far. Jump into early access on the 24th. Enter Voidwrought, a 2D action platformer that takes place in a ruined world full of monstrous creatures. Defeat your foes and gather their powers as you quest through this adventure, taking down massive bosses. Combat is customizable and quite smooth. Fans of Vigil, The Longest Night will also be pleased to know that the composer of that release will be doing this soundtrack. You know the drill here. Cosmic horror, Metroidvania map, the usual. But hopefully Voidwrought can manage to stand out a bit with its unique art direction. How about some co-op survival horror just in time for the spooky season 2? Dark Hours is releasing into early access on October 24th, and I'm ready to be scared out of my gourd with up to 3 friends as we find ourselves trapped within an evil entity. You know, typical horror game tropes, and I'm all about it. Stick with your teammates to survive this hellish nightmare as you play minigames, deactivate security systems, and manage your equipment. No 2 gameplay sessions will be quite the same, as Dark Hours is procedurally generated. Are you brave enough to enter the corridors of Dark Hours? Find out on the 24th, when this one launches into early access. And no Halloween season would be complete without some bloody vampires. Cabernet releases on the 24th, featuring some rich storytelling and RPG elements. Our protagonist has been transformed into a vampire and is now feasting on every living soul she can find. The narrative is clearly a heavy focus, and I'm loving the historic gothic vibes. Shift forms from vampire to bat, or even become invisible. Maybe you can sneak into the bathroom and watch Uncle Gary on the toilet. There's gotta be something better to do than that, like playing Cabernet on the 24th. Card battling fans, you're eating good this week. Card-en-Ciel takes card and RPG elements and throws them into an anime blender. After receiving a mysterious email, you find yourself in a VR video game facing off against your foes through intense card-based combat filled with strategy and action. This definitely gives me some Sword Art Online vibes, and since it comes to us from the infamous Inti Creates, you know it's going to be chock full of those beautiful anime babes. Card-en-Ciel is set to release on October 24th if you'd like to try your hand at this roguelite action for yourself. Alright, we've already had Grim Reapers and vampires on the list this week, but what about zombies? Perhaps you'd like to harvest the last farmer when it crops up on October 24th. Your farm is your most important survival tool, and you'll need to protect it at all costs from the undead that are swarming the area. The constant flow of bodies isn't all bad though, since they seem to make great fertilizer. Of course, you'll also need to do your share of crafting, and zombies may not be the only thing to watch out for in this corrupt world. The Last Farmer seems to be part base builder, part survival, and all action. Funny, we actually just mentioned the Coma series on a spooky Halloween list that you should definitely check out, so it's nice to see the franchise returning with the Coma 2B Catacomb. This installment serves as a bridge between the original 2 titles. If you've never played either of the prior installments, these Korean horror titles are all about hiding to survive, kind of similar to the Clock Tower series. Avoiding ghosts is the name of the game, and this entry looks to tie up any loose ends from the previous 2 releases. I for one am excited to dive back into the world of the Coma, and I won't have to wait too long as the Coma 2B Catacomb releases on October 25th. Okay, so this one is on the fringe of what our channel covers, but it's not exactly AAA, and I freaking love the Ys series, so suck it, haters, suck it good! Ys has quite a long and illustrious history that begins before a lot of you watching were even born. They don't call me Old Gamer Joe for nothing. I'll definitely be grabbing the latest installment on October 25th that looks to continue the story of Adol, this time featuring our hero on the high seas. There's a second protagonist to control here too, apparently, a pirate named Karja. Will these unlikely comrades be able to come together to save the world through exciting RPG combat? Well, you best believe I'll be picking this one up to find out. And that's gonna do it for this week, folks. We hope you found the next indie game of your dreams. And as always, thank you for supporting independent content. Voice to the voiceless, see you on the channel.